The data shows that over 80% of everyone who tries to sell on Amazon ends up failing. But that failure is completely avoidable if you understand everything that you're about to learn in today's video when it comes to product research. Because when this video ends, you'll understand how to turn random example products like this into hundreds of profitable Amazon products for your store. Because at the end of the day, the vast majority of those sellers who end up failing do so because they're making the process way too complicated on themselves and they're not copying what I'm about to show you right now. That's enough yapping about it though. Let me jump in here, and I'm excited to show you guys my $6 million Amazon product research strategy, because all you need to start selling profitable products on Amazon is one example like this, right? It's a name brand product. The software called SellerAmp is how we're going to source the inventory, but it also shows me a bunch of the essential data. For example, the most important of which on this item is that people are already shopping for this product on Amazon. And since it's a name brand product, the sellers on this listing are not buying any ads. They're not doing any marketing. They're simply making sales by listing this product on Amazon and then competing with each other to have the price that actually makes the sale, right? And we can use these Amazon sellers to find a ton of other winning products for ourselves, right? Instead of randomly going around and clicking around websites and looking for sales and trying to see what products sell on Amazon, the easy way is to go to these other third-party sellers and see what they're already having success with. We don't need to reinvent the wheel, especially when it comes to just wanting to make a few $1,000s a month. You don't need to make it super complicated on yourself, and we can use all of their ideas to potentially find some profit for ourselves. So as I'm looking at the items this seller is already selling in their store, what I'm most interested in is looking for things that I can buy for this max cost option, aka the price that I need to buy it for in order to meet all my profit standards. For example, if I can buy this like Halloween costume item, something I'm going to be on the lookout for today since I'm filming this right before Halloween, definitely a good opportunity to buy those and then ship them directly to the customer. So what I can do on this is hit that Google button. That's going to search that title on Google for me, and then I can see, seems like I have the exact same item, same picture, although on this one it looks like it's going for $20, so it's not really going to be super close to that price point. Obviously we need to buy it for $8 or $9 to be profitable. It's selling for $20 today, so that would be something we skip, right? At the super fundamental level, that's how we're going to source profitable products today, but obviously we're going to be breaking down some extra game on how to find profitable items where other people are just skipping right past them. So let's check out the next item here, and this one's definitely a lot more interesting because this is like a kid's Halloween costume. If we can buy it for $25, we are going to be profitable. And let's see, so I see here it is at the Disney store. That's probably the exact same product, and that one's going for $28. So I definitely want to look closer into this. I know my max cost was $25 here, but there's a good chance you can almost always get a little bit of extra discount, and honestly that's what separates a lot of those sellers who end up failing from people who succeed for the long term. Go in that little bit of an extra step to see what kind of extra profit margin we can create. Because on this item I can see it's going for about $50 right now. It's being shipped from and sold by a third-party seller. So this Amazon seller is basically buying this from probably the same website as us here, and then when the customer buys it, they're shipping it directly out. So the problem here though is we're buying this for $27.99. By the way, these fees already include shipping and sales tax, so if you're worried about that, SellerAmp's already including that for me. But what I can potentially do is create some extra profit margin with discounted gift cards. So this is just one way I like to increase how much money I'm making as an Amazon seller. So what I can do is I can search for Disney store on Cardbear. It's basically a marketplace that sells discounted gift cards. So it looks like today GCX is selling discounted gift cards for 9.7% off. Basically what that means is I can go to GCX and buy a $100 gift card for around $90, almost a 10% discount, which then immediately decreases my cost of goods by 9.7%. So let me go ahead and subtract that there. Let's go minus 9.7%. And now we're buying this item for almost a 30% ROI, which is pretty much what I like to look for, a $7 profit. So right now it's like less than 1% ROI short of what I usually like to look for. And let's see, on average, it's also nice and profitable. Let's see, so on 30-day average, it's a little bit less profitable. 90-day average, it is more profitable. So it's definitely interesting. I can also see the past history of this price right here. Let me even just zoom into the last little bit. And it seems like it's been pretty consistent in that price range. And this is peak demand season for something like this. The basic info I'm looking at here is this green sales rank line. Further and further down that goes, it means it's selling faster. And I'm also seeing sellers selling out on this product. So it got as high as like 20 sellers or so right there, and it's been consistently decreasing since then. So that tells me that this price is probably going to stay decently high. So I don't mind buying something like that. I'd probably pick up 10 units, maybe 20 units. I don't want to get stuck with Halloween costumes after Halloween, but that's one quick example right there. So let's see if there's anything else in the kind of Halloween costumes that this person is selling. So it seems like there is an Anna boot here. What I can do here is let's just search specifically for that product. So if I hit the SellerAmp Chrome extension, it's going to go ahead and grab the title and search for that on Amazon. But I don't know if that product actually has a listing on Amazon. No worries. Yeah, I see there's like a different version from like Party City, but that is not what we're looking at here. So I might also search like Elsa boots or something like that here. No worries. Okay, maybe they don't sell those this year. Let's keep going down the list. It looks like they're selling plenty of other stuff as well. They got some like Christmas candies. They've got a stuffed animal here. The main thing again is just trying to only spend my time looking for things where that max cost seems reasonable. So I just don't think there's any way we're going to get like a name brand plush toy for $2. Seems like a lot of these are showing up at like 10 or 11 bucks. So usually I skip the things where that price seems a little bit unreasonable. If you don't know what prices are unreasonable, then just time to start opening up as many products as possible and start learning what that is. Let's see. So on this I can see the price has been pretty consistently decreasing over the last few months here. So I'm not super interested in that. Usually that means that it maybe used to be profitable or used to be close to profitable, and then competition drove the price down. Let's see, here is like a Barbie toy. This one's interesting. I see Amazon's on it right now, but Amazon also has trouble staying in stock, and we're going into the holiday season as well. So let's see, last holiday season, what happened during the Christmas rush. So I can zoom in here on Keepa and see basically like all of the past year's sales data. So I can see last year before Christmas, the price was like 28 bucks, and then Amazon came back into stock and they had no trouble staying in stock. So this would be something I might take a risk on if Amazon is still having a lot of trouble staying in stock. It's going for 38 bucks, 35 bucks when Amazon's gone. What can we find this for? So it is 19 bucks right there. It's actually 18 bucks if that's the same thing. But I don't think this is going to be really worth the risk, just because Amazon's kind of in and out of this product. And typically when Amazon sells a listing, they're going to hog the majority of the sales. It's just how it works in general. Let's see. Again, usually I'm just skimming for things that could reasonably be profitable at the price point I have. Let's see. So we got like a candle set here. These are $6. So this actually was a profitable item. You can see this is a $7.65 max cost. Only problem is that this is out of stock right here. So this could be something that you should keep your eyes on. One thing that's very helpful to do with SellerAmp here is to make like different Google Sheets for types of items that you find. So let's say you're sourcing in January and you're seeing really good Christmas items. You don't want to buy those yet, obviously. We can store those on a separate Google Sheet just for Christmas products. Or in this case, we found this item, but it was out of stock. So we can just go ahead and hit that out of stock button there. And it's going to send information to whatever custom Google Sheet we want. For example, here's like the one I have for Christmas products. And you see I'm adding stuff all throughout the year just to see, remember to come back and start looking for those products when they're actually in season. Nothing too crazy there. I am a little bit curious on this just because I see there's some different scents. And usually when you see one example being profitable in a certain style of product, there's good potential that it might be good for something else, right? Because it's just like a different variety pack basically. Let's see, Christmas classic, warm apple. That could be it right there actually. Let's check that out. Sage citrus, vanilla, and then red apple wreath are the scents. Okay, it's a little bit different. I'm still curious. Let's go ahead and search this on Google, see if we've got the like Christmas scents. Nice part about that is we have plenty of time to get these stocked in. I think that's actually what we saw at Boscov's. Christmas cookie, awesome. Yeah, so this is probably going to be a good example as well. Go buying that for $7.50. Awesome. Yeah, meets all our standard tier, sells 50 times a month, and that's obviously going into Christmas. So you can see last year how that sales rank went way down. It became a super popular item, and then obviously a lot less popular outside of the holiday season. Luckily right now there's plenty of time to stock up for the holiday season. This would be a pretty good example just based on how fast it sold last year. You can see on SellerAmp, you can even see like by month how fast something sold. So you can see last year during like the peak Christmas rush, it was selling 500 times a month, which is obviously really helpful information because now we know it's not a 50 sales per month item. It is a 500 sales per month item. So what I would do is instead of buying like a 10 to 20 unit test order, I might go in here and buy 50 or so of these. And I would say that'd be a pretty safe bet. We can also check and see if there is extra money we can save at Boscov's. See if there's like a good discounted gift card. So actually there is some extra money here. So I'll even show you the website so you can see how it works. Right, so we can go in here and buy, for example, in this case, I don't really have to mess with like super small gift cards. So this might not be like super worth it. If you want a big $100 gift card, you'd only pay 98 bucks for it, for example here. Now that's going to be pretty typical with a lot of websites here. So on this, you could do the 7.2% if you want to buy like those small gift cards right there, but we don't even need it on that item. It's already a profitable item basically. And then now that we have just a couple winning products, honestly, the best way to go about finding future winning products is to just continue that process with all of those other products you found. So for example, this 3 set of candles right here, since we know this is a profitable item and we know that they buy items from Boscov's most likely, now when we're looking through the storefront, not only do we know that this seller is selling things that are actively profitable, so it's maybe a little bit higher quality storefront, we also know that they like to buy at least some products from Boscov's, so we don't even need to guess where they're buying some of these products from. Let's see if we can find one more product here just to see how the sourcing idea just keeps growing, right? It seems like they're even selling like some grocery product. Like you can really sell anything that's profitable on Amazon. And for those of you guys that have looked into selling Amazon before, I'm sure you're concerned about the gating process actually getting approved to sell these products. Let's see if we can find an item in this niche real quick, and then I'll show you how to get around that, kind of get approved to sell those brands, because that's really not as big of a roadblock as I definitely thought it was when I was getting started on Amazon. Let's see. So on these spices, I'm seeing a bunch of negative max costs, which typically just means that in order for us to meet our ideal minimum ROI and minimum profit, it's just not possible. So if you see that when you're starting to find some products, you're not doing anything wrong. It just means that these sellers probably aren't making too much money, if any, on these products. Let's see. Yeah, a lot of these spices are just like too cheap. So I'm curious if they're even making money on that. Let's see. They've also got some more of these candles, so we can check those out just because those are already working for us. And same as what we've been doing so far. Usually I'm just looking for things that just seem a little bit overpriced. Maybe I can get that for $7.70. See, oh, it's probably this Costco item right here. It's this 5-pack of them. That is $11.34 in store. See, Mount Fuji candle. How much is this? See a bunch of these popping up around 20 bucks or so. Yeah, I don't think we're seeing anything too crazy there. See, let's check out another one here. So we need to get this for $10.70. And honestly, a lot of times when you're sourcing, one particular brand might just run a better sale sometimes, that kind of thing. So if you're not finding profitable products within a certain brand, probably not doing anything wrong. You're probably just sourcing that item while there's not the right discount methods around. For example, maybe there's a really good sale that they offer and that's the prices that people are buying these at, and it's just not possible to replicate anymore. So don't get like super discouraged if you're finding stuff that's just not super profitable. Like that right there was like buy one get one 50% off for 30 bucks. We need to get for 10. So it must be a better sale or something like that this website runs. And as you're trying to source more products, generally the best way to go about it is just to go brand by brand through these storefronts here, and then really dig in on the ones that you're able to find some kind of sale going on. For example, when Yankee Candle runs a better sale, probably some opportunity to dig in there. See, this person also sells some Burt's Bees. Seems like a lot of this is dropping in price a little bit recently. So I'm not sure how much opportunity this is going to have, but the main thing is just really digging in on these brands when there's a sale opportunity that makes the opportunity. Like I said, don't get super discouraged if you're not finding stuff right away. It's okay for it to feel hard. And as you source more winning products using that method, keep in mind you do need to be approved or ungated to sell those big name brands on Amazon. To make that process simple, you'll just go into Seller Central, add a product. When you add that product, it'll show you if you're already able to list it, or it'll say apply to sell. If it wants you to apply to sell, go ahead and get an invoice from whatever supplier you bought it from. So for example, the candles that we saw, they were profitable at Boxem. We can just buy 10 of those from Boxem and then submit that invoice to Amazon. Now keep in mind, it's been pretty normal recently to get some denials, even using legitimate invoices with Amazon. They're really careful around the holidays to make sure that everyone is legit on Amazon. So if you get those denials, just keep in mind it's totally normal. Keep submitting and eventually you will get approved. Just make sure you're buying from legitimate retailers and it'll be good to go. After you get this profitable products sourced and ungated, then you're going to be ready to sell those products on Amazon, of course. If you want to see how the entire listing and shipping process works, I'll leave a video at the end of this one. You'll basically end up just shipping everything to Amazon through Boxem. But hopefully this was helpful to see some examples of winning Amazon products. Drop any comments, questions, anything like that down below. Always happy to help you guys out. Also, make sure you grab 2 free trials of SellerAmp and Boxem down below. Those are the Amazon softwares that you'll use to grow your business a little bit faster. Those are the softwares that you'll actually use to source products, as well as track how much profit you're making, ship products into Amazon, kind of all the essentials. And if you want to see how that next step of the process works, where we actually make the sales on Amazon, go ahead and click this video right here.